Tonight on Arisen Strength, the motivational podcast, we have Kirsteen Lupton. She is the Pride of Britain Award winner. It's all about inspiration through awareness and motivation. So let's get to it because your time is right now.
You know I can't recall the day your dream became my life. I've lived an eternity with you by my side. You by my side. Like the sun and the moon I've seen, that your light reflects mine. And riding together we have conquered the skies. But for so long I failed to see the truth as I searched for a fantasy that lived within you. Said, how did you know that you'd be my angel when your wings were draped into my heart? Where did you see that we would be wonderful and our dreams would live where we are?
Hello, I'm Shane Schultz, and this is the Arisen Strength Motivational Podcast. Folks, we do this show because we feel there are far too many dreams, talents, and capabilities that are being suppressed for whatever reason, whether it be injury, illness, or life experiences. These are situations that find us being robbed of what it is that makes us special and unique in this world, and that's our passions. Here at Arisen Strength, we encourage people to pursue their passions in spite of the challenges they face. Now, how we do that is with our three-pillar concept. Number one, we support. Number two, we empower. And after all that work, number three, we have the right to celebrate. Folks, that's the Arisen Strength concept. Our goal is to help you be more than the challenges you face. But I don't do this show without my good friend. His name is Wayne the Hack Hacker. Hey, Wayne, how are you tonight?
I'm back in the frozen tundra of upstate New York, Shane.
Welcome back.
I was gone about 3 weeks. Went down to New York City, then spent most of the time in North Carolina. Beautiful weather down there. Although there was snow on the ground when I arrived. But gone by the afternoon, and we never saw another trace of it. Back in town now, feeling relaxed, recharged, ready to go forward. And I still managed to not lose as much weight as I've been losing lately, but I did manage to still lose weight while I was on vacation. So that's a thumbs up for that.
Excellent. Excellent. Well, that's the thing, right? Because what you're doing is that you're setting the foundation, right? You're setting the capability of being able to make a difference in your life. And even though that, yeah, you're going down and you're meeting friends and so forth, and maybe you might not have been as stringent on the diet as what you normally would be, but now your body is in tune to saying, hey, you know what? I got this. I've got it started. Just come back to me so that we can get back to work when we need to. And that's something that is similar to people who are dealing with chronic pain, chronic illness, whatever the case may be. It's all about a mindset to get them going in the right direction in the first place, especially when they're having good days, right? You want to make sure that you're getting everything that you can out of a good day. And then when you have a challenging day or a more challenging day, that way your body knows, your mindset knows, hey, okay, this is where it is that we need to buckle down and we need to get through it and work our way through it and not just avoid it.
No, that's exactly right. I mean, we talk about kick the can't and, really focus on what you can and what you can, when you can, the best that you can. And when you can't, you dial it down a little bit. Yeah, today I can't do as much as I did yesterday because of whatever's happening in my life, whether it be life experience, injury, illness. We all have those things. And some days are going to be better than other days. On the good days, make hay while the sun shines. It's an ancient expression, and it's true as it was then as it is now. Yeah, we got to get out there and do it when you can. And it was really a fabulous time because of that. When I was down there, I wasn't overindulging, but I was purposely letting loose. I was like saying, you know what? I'm not going to worry about this. I mean, I'm on vacation. I'm visiting friends. If I want to eat tacos, because I've been cutting the bread down, so I haven't been eating things like tacos. I haven't been eating sandwiches. I haven't been eating potatoes, rice. I ate all that when I was out there. Not a lot. But, hey, we went out for Chinese food. I had some rice. We had Mexican food. I ate the tacos. I had a sandwich. Nice area, beautiful farm-to-table cafe. And they made these delicious sandwiches. Yeah, I'll have a sandwich. But I let what I have learned about portion control and with my brain resetting, I'm a new mindset, looking at food differently. So rather than have the jumbo foot-long sub loaded with mayonnaise and cheese and oil and vinegar and a big bag of chips with it, it was a simple sandwich. And I proved myself that I could do that over an extended period of time, 3 weeks, and still lose weight. Normally, I would have lost about 10 pounds during those 3 weeks, the way I've been going for the last year. I lost about 4 or 5 pounds. Not a bad amount of weight to lose in 3 weeks. Most people would be happy with it. I was happy with it. So it was a little less than what I'm used to, but I was also not being as stringent. I was kind of going with the flow and seeing what I had learned in a year. And apparently in a year, I've learned a lot.
Well, we talk about how living life with purpose. We're talking about doing the best that you can, especially on the good days. You really want to celebrate those days. In fact, our pillars are, support, empower, and celebrate. And celebrate, we are going to do, folks. We are having a special live show next week when we are going to be celebrating my man, Wayne the Hack Hacker. It is What a Difference a Year Makes. Hashtag lose 300 pounds. It's going to be awesome. We're going to have Wayne and myself. We're going to be in the Zoom room. It's kind of cool to say, huh? And then we are also inviting everybody to come and join us. So there's going to be enough room for at least 50 people at a time to be able to be involved with us on our live show, where we are going to celebrate the fact that Wayne has taken the Arisen strength concepts. He's also taken his own initiative for what it is that he's doing, his living life with purpose, making a difference in the year that he's done. It's been amazing. So it's time to celebrate. It's going to be pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. I think it's going to be really exciting. And, we talk about the pillars. The first pillar, support. I could not have done this without the support that I had. And, that support from my friends, from you, my good friend Shane, really being with me as I was getting through this and getting into the system, working with my therapist, I have a care coordinator through the county, working with a nutritionist, with my primary care physician. So that's a lot of people on my team working for me, working with me. Sure, I had to take all these steps myself to get it done, but I didn't have to take them by myself. And that's the real important thing about support. Reach out, use the supports that you're being given. Yes, at the end of the day, I'm the one that has to make the difference in my life, but I don't have to do it alone. That's a lot of freedom with that. It's about the freedom of acceptance. Being able to say, you know what, that's right. I don't have to do this alone. I have to do it, and I'm the one that's going to have to do it, but I don't have to do it alone. That's empowering. So it leads right into the empowering, which leads right into the celebration. So, they're all right there, and they're all so strongly connected. And I've really felt them the last year, the support, empower, and then celebrate. And the celebrate has been along the way. I've been celebrating, on a daily, weekly, monthly basis as I watch the numbers go down, 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 down. It will not wait until I lose all the weight that I want to lose. We talk about hashtag lose 300 pounds. Yeah, that's kind of like a big goal, and that wasn't what I've lost in 1 year. Maybe I should clear that up. Hopefully nobody's out there saying, oh, he lost 300 pounds in 1 year. No, I lost 185 pounds in 1 year. I'm 2/3 of the way there nearly, and by the rest of 2017, I have stretched out. I can lose the last 115 pounds, reach my goal, and that's an initial goal, right? There's no final goal. There's big goals, there's little goals, but I don't have any final goals, right? It's always about progress, not perfection. And that first goal of lose 300 pounds, hopefully hit that in 2017.
Yeah, it's going to be very cool.
We're going to have a lot of fun with that.
We've got a great interview this evening. Her name is Kirsteen Lupton. And what'd you think about the interview?
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. She's from Scotland, and she's got the most beautiful Scottish accent. So what a lot of fun it is to listen to a Scottish accent. I definitely enjoy it. I was born in England. Maybe we should let that out of the bag there. I think we've mentioned it many times on the show, but yeah, I don't have an English accent. My mother, she's an American citizen now, and that's only fairly recent, but she was born in England with the full-on English accent. So, and I was born in England, but I didn't pick up the English accent. Like old home week, me in a sense, getting back. I remember these accents.
Well, I'll tell you, she is pretty amazing. Folks, when you listen to the interview that we've got in store for you, you're going to hear some amazing, amazing advocacy that this young lady has done since she was in her single-digit years. She actually is a Pride of Britain award winner, and I'm going to let her describe what that means and what it all entails, because it is pretty prestigious. But more so, she's just an amazing person. She does what it is that she does for a reason, and her reason is really the right one. I mean, it's the way that it needs to be for actually making a difference in the right way. She does it absolutely amazing. But before we get into the interview, I want to mention, hey, we are going to be featuring our friends Amanda and Austin Harris of Sapphire Rain for the month of April and the month of May. Now, I got to tell you, the music that Sapphire Rain puts out is with a great, great message. It's one that talks about mental health. It talks about self-harm, talks about suicidality, but it does it in a way that really is entertaining and also informative. So you want to be sure to listen to the music they provide. I invite you to go and check them out on Facebook, on Twitter, on YouTube. They are all over the place. It's just the two of them, but they make some great, great music. So definitely check them out. We'll make sure to have the links out there for you. Plus, we also have an announcement that we're going to make at Wayne's Celebration. This is going to be a big, big announcement for the month of May. So make sure to come over with us and celebrate Wayne's Celebration for what a difference a year makes. Hashtag lose 300 pounds. It's going to be awesome. Wayne, why don't we get right to the interview?
Sounds like a great idea.
I am here with Kirsteen Lupton. Hey, Kirsteen, how are you today?
Hello, I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
Oh, I am doing really, really well, thank you. Hey, folks, Kirsteen Lupton is part of Courage to Shine, and this is our Courage to Shine series. And as you can tell, she is not from the United States. Where are you from, Kirsteen?
I am from Glasgow in Scotland, so excuse the accent.
Excuse it. We love it. This is awesome. Okay, so tell me a little bit about you, because there's a reason why we have you on this show. As you know, what we do here at Arisen Strength is that we bring inspiration through awareness and motivation. And you definitely have a whole lot to talk about when it comes to awareness. So why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Okay, so I was born with a medical condition called Bladder Exstrophy, and the easiest way of explaining it is that I was born with my bladder on the outside of my body. But anybody who feels a little bit shocked by that or anything, don't worry, it's back in my body and it's normal now. The only thing that's a little bit different about me is that I can pee standing up, which is unusual for a girl. Some people think it's quite cool, and I never have the risk of wetting myself. That's definitely a bonus of Bladder Exstrophy. No matter how old you are, you don't ever have to worry about wetting yourself. It's obviously, since I was born, it's been 23 years, so I've kind of tried to keep myself busy. And after I was treated down at Great Ormond Street Hospital in London, I decided that I wanted to start raising money for the hospital, managed to save my life. So that basically meant that I had to email the fundraising people for the hospital and say to them, I want to fundraise. Can you tell me what to do? And they basically wrote back to me and they said, would you like to come and discuss your experiences at an event that we're having down in London? And I had never done public speaking before. I think I was maybe about 9. Mum and Dad were like, hey, that's awesome. There'll be celebrities there. Let's go. Kind of shy Kirsteen was thinking, I don't want to do this. But then the Kirsteen that thought it'll be cool to meet celebrities, let's give this a try, did it. So what ended up happening was I wrote my own speech, which is something that I'm quite proud of, because Mum and Dad, especially when I was younger, they always wanted to tell me what to say and how to say it. But for me, this is my story, it's my life, it's my experiences. So I was always adamant that I would do the speeches and I would say it how I wanted. I think it feels more genuine as well, you know, because if a 9-year-old girl was going up there talking very formally, there's no personality in that. So after that, for some reason, they really liked my first talk and they asked me to come more and more, which felt more publicity both for myself and for the hospital. And it exploded into this big, amazing fundraising campaign that lasted for years. And in 2006, I was awarded a Pride of Britain award, which for those who don't know, it's an annual television award. How they explain it is it's sort of, I don't like saying saying it because I want it, but it's sort of advertised as celebrating real life heroes who done something amazing, and instead of focusing, you know, on celebrities and stuff, because they always have award shows somewhere. So I won that after I'd raised 750,000.
Why don't you like to be called a hero?
Because I don't feel like one, and I think it sounds a lot like I'm bragging, you know, when I say it celebrates real life heroes. I know some people think that that's what I am, but for me, like, I took what I got from life and I made it what I could. I don't think that makes me a hero, and I think that a lot of people who were in my shoes and who had the support that I had, I think they would do the same. So I'm just your normal person who's had a little bit of a different experience than most.
Well, you know what? I think that makes you more of a hero than you think. Because I personally, in my experience, I think that the authentic heroes don't even really think that they belong as a hero. I really do. I think that the ones that do it for all the right reasons, they just don't see it as a need to be acknowledged. And that's why I think you are a hero. I think the fact that you went and you, at 9 years old, you decided that you were going to write your own speech about your own experience. I mean, you could have very easily had somebody write it for you and try to, like you said, recite it really formally and everything in that sense. But you decided to take it on your own. And you had a reason why you were doing that. Well, so what was it that you were trying to do for your purpose? I mean, what were you trying to get across?
I mean, I think what really honestly motivated me to start really fundraising for the hospital was on the first day that I ever went into Great Ormond Street, I was put in a bed next to a little boy named Alex who was suffering from cancer. And our families became quite close. Alex and I kind of had this mutual connection. We didn't have the same condition, but we were both sick children in a hospital. So we both knew that our situation sucked a lot. So we were sort of there to support each other. And not long after I got out of hospital, we unfortunately got a call to tell us that Alex was, you know, he wasn't going to make it, that his cancer had come back. And after that, like, I kind of decided, you know, I'm going to raise money for the hospital. One, to thank them for everything they had done for me. And two, to try and make sure that the same thing doesn't happen again to, you know, a little boy like Alex. Get them money for machines or for research or for something like that, you know, to try and prevent a similar thing happening, because devastating for so many more people, because obviously, you know, like, it's a horrible thing because kids in hospital too become friends as well. And I actually think there can be quite a bad psychological impact for losing a friend who's been in hospital. So a large part of it, honestly, was when Alex passed away. I think he was a big kind of inspiration for everything that I've done.
I can so identify with what it is that you're saying, because I had lost my best friend. His name was Ronnie. He had an unfortunate accident. And in order to be able to ritualize his memory with me and everything that I do, and I made this promise to his family that he would be right next to me no matter what it is that I do. And so what I did is I made this logo with a starburst. It comes from a story of my best friend Ronnie, and, you know, so he's always with me. So, you know, I really do identify with what it is that you're saying. I'm very sorry for Alex having such a short time here, but I'm pretty darn sure that wherever Alex is, he's pretty darn proud and thinks you pretty cool too for all the things.
I hope so.
We're talking with Kirsteen Lupton. She's the Pride of Britain Award winner, and we will be right back. Hey, welcome back. That is Sapphire Rain. I told you they have an awesome sound and a fantastic message. It is awesome to have them featured both months of April and May. We have a bunch of announcements coming soon.
Okay, so you mentioned an award, which is the Pride of Britain Award. Now, I know you're from Scotland. Now we're talking Pride of Britain. How did that all happen?
Oh, if we get into that, then we're getting into the independence thing. So basically, that's very political. So basically what it is the idea of Pride of Britain is hundreds of people are nominated. I don't have a figure of how many people are nominated, but for months before, it takes place October, November time. And months before, there's flyers and there's television adverts. And so one of the fundraisers, Great Ormond Street Hospital, bless her heart, she nominated me and she put forward my story. And what happens then is it goes to a panel of celebrities and different kinds of important people in the country, and they read through all the stories and they make a short list of 16 people per year. I know it was 16 when I won. It might have gone up or down or by a few people, but generally it's 16 people per year that win it. And normally what they do is they sort of try and surprise you when you win the award, so you don't have any idea. And it's a really big deal, so you have celebrities coming and giving the awards. Jude Law actually gave me mine, which was really cool for 13-year-old me to have Jude Law coming out.
Tell me about that. Tell me how that all came about. I mean, did anybody know that you were nominated and that this was happening, or was everybody totally in the dark until all of a sudden there it was?
So my mum and dad knew, and it was quite weird actually, because through my fundraising, I've been fortunate enough to meet quite a lot of celebrities. One week, mum and dad both asked me on different occasions, if you could meet any celebrity in the world, who would you meet? And I remember thinking, mum asked me it after my dad, and I remember thinking, dad asked me that this week. And I thought, maybe there's just another event that they want me to talk at, and I don't know, I thought maybe they were trying to sort something for me, or something like that. There's a television show here. It's like a sort of morning television show. I could be wrong, but when I went on it, it was called GMTV. It's kind of that show that everybody in Britain watches when they're getting ready for work in the morning. And I was told one day, you're not going to school tomorrow because you're going on GMTV and you're going to talk about your experiences, which wasn't unusual for me because, a lot of the time I would be asked to speak to newspapers and stuff. So I didn't really think anything of it. I was just like, okay, yeah, fine. And when I got there, they were asking about my fundraising and stuff, and they actually said to me, so, you've won this massive award. I was absolutely dumbfounded. I didn't know how to react. And I was thinking, is this a joke? And I don't know what to say. And then I think it was about a week later, I'd actually, been given the award, and it all happened so fast that I think it took a while to kind of sink in that this has just happened, this kind of big deal in your life. So pretty cool. I enjoyed it.
When did you end up meeting Jude Law?
So that was the night of the award ceremony. What they have is all sorts of celebrities come along, and Prime Minister comes. So while I was there, it was Tony Blair. So Tony Blair and his wife were there, and all these other politicians and celebrities and other inspiring people, as well as the people who had won the Pride of Britain. And the main aim of the show is to make the celebrities kind of not as big a deal as the winners. So, the celebrities kind of come and they approach the winners, which is a very weird feeling, because I was having dinner before the show. You have a dinner, and Simon Cowell came up behind me and he was like, Kirsteen! And I was just like, what is this? Like, are you serious? And talking away to me, and even mum and dad were thinking, what did we do in our lives that we are now having dinner with our daughter and Simon Cowell is approaching her? It was really cool, actually. So whenever we're watching TV and stuff, he's now my friend, even though we've spoken once. And then they tell your story. So, they have kind of videos and stuff of speeches that I didn't know that Dad had necessarily taken or given. And then you go up on stage and the celebrity will come out with the award. So I didn't know that it was Jude Law. And the woman presenting it, she sort of made a few comments, and then she announced it was Jude Law, and I was just thinking, oh my days, this is so cool. So he came out with the award, and okay, so McFly, I'm not entirely sure how well known they are in America, but in Britain they're a very popular sort of boy band, and after Jude Law had given me the award, McFly came out with a signed guitar that I could auction off for Great Ormond Street, which was really, really cool because everybody loved McFly, especially back then. It was quite fun going back to school the next week and everybody was saying, "I can't believe you met McFly."
All right, look, Kirsteen, I don't know what the heck is going on. Listen, you are a hero to somebody because, I mean, you are at this award event, and this is a very, very prestigious award, folks. The Pride of Britain is not something that is just handed out to just about anybody. As you can tell, I mean, you know, she gets to meet Tony Blair. I mean, Simon Cowell goes up and says hi by her first name. You know, I mean, this is something that's really prestigious, where it is that Kirsteen is from. Okay, so that was really, really cool. But you also had something else that came about because of the award as well, didn't you?
Yeah, so after the award, we were contacted by Virgin Books, who basically had seen the television shows, and I don't know, maybe they looked into my life a bit more, but they decided that they wanted to write a story about my life and my experiences in my fundraising, which, you know, you first get the call and that's really cool. But what my parents kind of had to remember was I was only 13 at the time, so although my story was out there, it wasn't sort of in a book, and for the book to be made, it was done by a ghostwriter. So it meant intense interviews for days. And I think at first Mum and Dad had sort of thought, can she psychologically cope with this? Because when I write my speeches, I'll talk about what I want to talk about. And, you know, I won't bring up something that'll make me cry. So for example, in all my speeches, I'll never talk about Alex, because I don't want to cry in front of people. Whereas when somebody's interviewing you about your life, the person who wrote the book, you'd be sitting in the living room, you'd be having a normal conversation, and he'd bring up the worst experience of your life and say, "So tell me about that." And, you know, I'm on my lunch break from school, you talking about my worst memories and then having to go back to school. But, you know, as a family, we all discussed it and decided, you know what, that's been through worse. We can deal with, you know, going back to some bad places. And we said to Virgin Books, that's fine, but we want all of the proceeds to go to Great Ormond Street Hospital. So whoever buys the book or anything like that, all of the money goes directly to the hospital because we didn't want to get anything from it.
Do you know how many books have been sold so far?
Absolutely no idea. I have no idea. I've always been interested to find out. I don't know how to find out, so I'm sorry, no. I don't know. I mean, I think it probably gets a lot of inquiries because my mum loves going into bookshops and saying, "Do you have Pride of Britain?" And they, you know, they'll say, "Yeah, you know, who's this for?" And she's like, "Oh, just Kirsteen Lupton." And, you know, I'm standing next to her like, "Mum!" It's really embarrassing actually, but you know, she's proud, so I kind of have to let her have it. And luckily I have brown hair now and I'm much older looking than I am in the front cover of the book. So, you know, when people look at it, I like to think that if they were to sort of see my mum buying it with me, they wouldn't think she's really sad. She's buying her own book from a bookstore. So, you know.
No, I think that's cool. I think that's cool of your mom to do that. That's pretty awesome. I mean, you know what, Kirsteen, really, I believe that life is all about the memories that we make, right? I think the memories are more than the minutes. The fact that you've had the experiences that you've had is just phenomenal. You didn't have them just for no reason. I mean, I know that you're an authentic hero. You're the one that does things because you feel that's the way that it should be or what it is that you've received. But I got to tell you, you know, I mean, the experiences that you've received as a result of the things that you've done are amazing. And they're very, very cool. So who is Kirsteen now? Because you're a little bit older than 13. You know, you've gone to university, you've done some, you know, some growing up, obviously. So who's Kirsteen now?
I mean, I think Kirsteen's just your normal 23-year-old girl who's kind of trying to find her way in life but builds new experiences and stuff. But obviously, in terms of for my bladder exstrophy and things like that, I still speak with a lot of people who have it. As a result of my book, a lot of people contact me and, you know, look for support. And it's actually mainly new parents that do it because they have the accessibility to look up bladder exstrophy and see my name, and they might see some videos that are up of me. So they contact me to ask, what's my child's life going to be like now? It's actually really awesome to be able to say, like, do you know what? It could actually be so much more better because they have bladder exstrophy, because my conditions meant that I can travel the world. You know, I've been to America to visit people I know with bladder exstrophy. I've been to Israel to visit people I know with bladder exstrophy. Like, if I hadn't been born with that, I'd never have got to do any of it. And if I hadn't been born with bladder exstrophy, Simon Cowell wouldn't have known my name even just for one night. So, you know, it sounds really scary, but I'm just a normal person. You know, I have a condition, and some of my childhood was hard, and I'll never sort of take away from that or forget the hard times. But the pros of my childhood and, you know, all the really cool stuff that I got to see and experience completely outweigh the cons. And like I said earlier on, the biggest difference that I have now is that I pee differently. But, you know, nobody knows that. People only know it if you want them to know it. Maybe not so much in my case because, you know, I have a book and things like that. So a lot more people might know about my condition than, you know, I know. But in terms of people with bladder exstrophy who want to keep it secret, you know, they can. And I think, you know, it's totally your choice. But for me, I'm a very open person. I'm friendly, trying to find my way in the world and, you know, freaking out that I'm getting older, unfortunately.
Joined the club.
I know.
Had a birthday itself, so I know. We were talking about the book, but we never mentioned the title. What's the title of the book?
The title is Pride of Britain. So it's just the name of the award.
Okay. Yeah, definitely. I'm sure that a lot of people would love to read that. Okay, so let's step back just a little bit. Okay, so we talked about the fact that you were born with this condition. You were born with this challenge in your life. It's not like you did anything in order for this to happen. This is just one of those things that happens in as far as life happens, right? Life happens in ways that we don't necessarily expect all the time. Okay, so you ended up with this. Then you decided, listen, I want to become a fundraiser in order to help others who are more like me than they are different. And so you did that. And you must have done pretty darn good, because the minute that we start talking about your fundraising, we jump into, oh, that's right, you just received the Pride of Britain Award. You know, you had that amazing experience. And now you gotta be like saying, what's next? And then you just mentioned the fact that you're just an average person. Is that something that you want to be, is just the average person, or do you want to take your advocacy up another level?
I would advocate for bladder exstrophy. You know, that's something that I do until the day that I die. But it's not even just about bladder exstrophy. I think in general, for anybody who has any illness, like, it doesn't even have to be one that you were born with. But I think, you know, if you're faced with an illness that doesn't necessarily have a cure or that's long-standing, I think it must be really nice to hear somebody speaking positively and kind of say, you know, I know what you're going through, and I know that it's rubbish because I've been through it as well, but it's not who you are. It doesn't define who you are as a person. And I think the worst thing that you can do is sort of let it kind of eat away at you. So no, I mean, when I say I'm an average person, I mean, you know, my day-to-day life is normal. I'm not doing anything that's overly exciting or totally different from a 23-year-old person. But sometimes I get to do cool stuff like this and speak about my condition. So, you know, if any opportunity comes up, either to fundraise for the hospital that I was at or to help other people by just discussing my experiences, then I'd do it without a second thought, because it's what I've been doing all my life. So when it's something that you become used to, it's quite hard to let go of that. And advocating is just, I guess, part of who I am now, I suppose.
Well, I think it's its purpose, right? Because it's not something that you just take lightly. You take it right on. I mean, you take it to the max as to where, you know, like you say, it becomes natural to you. And when we have a purpose in our lives, it's natural to us. And now it's just about us carrying it through. And you definitely are doing that. I got to tell you, folks, if you don't recognize that Kirsten's been using Arisen strength all throughout her young life, I mean, it is amazing as to how many different times it really emphasizes what it is that we do here at Arisen. We talk about our pillars and our foundations. Our pillars are to support unconditionally. Then there's empower, to be more than the challenges that you face. And then after all that work, we have the right to celebrate and to reward ourselves for those differences that we made for our lives. And then we have our foundations, where our foundations are all about take ownership of you, take ownership of your own recovery. Don't expect somebody else to do it for you. You got to do it for you because you're the one that matters. And then you have the power of turning the thought. Now, do you think that Kirsteen has used that one over time here? I mean, how many times has she used it? The power of turning the thought. And then the last is the freedom of acceptance. The freedom of acceptance. And that, Kirsteen, you emphasize that over and over and over. Because you sit there and you say, I went through what it is that I went through, but if I didn't go through what it is that I went through, then I wouldn't have the experiences that I have. Isn't that important?
Yeah, it definitely is. And, with changing your sort of thought and things, and I'd be lying if I didn't say that, some days I have cried and I've sort of thought to myself, why me? Some days I'm sore. I'll just think, why can't I be your ordinary, if you 23-year-old, doesn't have to catheterize when she needs to wee and who doesn't have to go to hospital to make sure that everything's still good. But I think for me, I'll cry about it for a day and then I'm done because, again, you accept that this is your life and sometimes it's hard, but, nobody, even if they're healthy, has what you would consider a perfect life. So, if I didn't have this condition, I wouldn't have met half of the amazing people that I've met. And I don't think I would know what I wanted to do with my life because, the reason that I studied events management at university was through my experiences of events when I was younger. Mm-hmm. So, having Bladder Exstrophy helped me find my passion and what I want to do as a career. And it kind of helped me learn to work with other people's emotions and work out the best ways of helping them because people who need support need it in different ways. Some people need to share their experiences with you and sort of make sure that you've had the same kind as they have. Other people need to just message you and tell you this sucks and I hate it. And they don't want you to tell them that it's going to be okay. They just want you to say, I know when I'm here. And other people don't want to talk about it at all, but they want to talk to me because I have the same condition. They don't want to talk about the condition, but it's one of those things where, we both know that we've suffered in the same way. Let's not talk about it, but it kind of works as a connection to the person, even if it's not discussed. It's a way of sort of being we're kind of the same, and that's how you build your friendships. So I think it's made me a more understanding person because you understand that you learn to be a different person for everyone. You learn to be the sympathetic ear. And, sometimes you need to learn to do a bit of tough love. Somebody keeps going on and on. You have to sort of say to them, I know I've been through it, but it gets better. So don't sit and feel bad for yourself because when I've had surgery, I've been in that place where I'll just sit and I'll cry and you don't get better from sitting and crying. And, I'll come out of surgery and say, I can't eat because I don't feel well. And it's okay, do you know what? Don't eat. You don't get out of hospital. You don't feel better. So again, it's accepting it and it's turning your thought to, if I change the way I am now, things will be better in a couple of days. And it's learning to sort of put in stepping stones, especially for me because I'll never be cured. So I'll never have that one day I'll be cured. So for me, it's about stepping stones. One day I won't have to wear nappies. One day I'll be able to pee every 4 hours instead of every 2 hours and things like that. So I think it can be quite easy for people with illnesses to not look at it as a kind of journey. They just look at it as, I'm ill and I want to be better and that's where I want to be. And, that's understandable, but you have to think, okay, so how will you get better? Like you say, sort of break everything down into what you said before. And quite glad that I've managed to have this condition to learn about that because I think if I didn't have bladder exstrophy, I would find that idea so difficult to understand.
Wow.
So
I know that you're an advocate for bladder exstrophy, but I got to tell you, you're an advocate for so many that are out there. because you're talking about a lot of things that people can identify with, no matter what it is that they're going through. And that is what really has you here on the show, because I knew that your story people could identify with in a number of different ways. So tell me, you recently have been able to visit over here in the United States because of your advocacy efforts. So what did you think about coming over here to the U.S. and talking to people?
I mean, I was so excited to visit America, and Tom, the person who was showing me around, planned everything perfectly, and, you know, he managed to make it a little bit of a sightseeing thing as well, instead of focusing just on discussing bladder exstrophy with people, because as nice as it is to meet new people and things, if you're always talking about it, it can, you know, you sometimes feel a wee bit tired and a wee bit drained. It's the same as if you talk about anything over and over again, though. You're eventually going to get sick of talking about it, even if it's something good. So when I went over there, it was so nice to be at the campouts and things, and my brother's girlfriend, she came along with me to sort of keep me company and for herself to learn more about bladder exstrophy. And what was really cool was you couldn't tell her apart from anyone else. So when I say that, I mean, she didn't look like the healthy one, and everybody else looked like they were unhealthy. You know, there was such a nice sort of family atmosphere. You know, everybody was laughing and joking, and if you were an outsider just looking in at the camp, you would see healthy looking children playing and laughing. You would see adults laughing and joking together. If you were looking back when I was there, you would see two Scottish girls getting really excited over, is it s'mores? Yeah. Like, it's so cool. We were so excited, and when they were making them at the fire, they really looked like tourists because our faces were just like so excited. What was really cool about it as well was the younger kids with bladder exstrophy, they would just sit and they would play games and things like that. And the ones who were a bit older would all sort of sit and talk, and there was a doctor at one of them, and he kind of explained the medical side of it. But every single person who spoke, you know, no matter what their take on it was, whether it was a parent of somebody with bladder exstrophy or somebody with bladder exstrophy, was, you know, not how this makes your life worse, but this is what you have and this is what you can do with it. It was really kind of nice to hear that a lot of people sort of had the same ideas as me, but it was also nice to kind of express my experiences and things, because I obviously listen to other people's experiences, because what you would find is I would say something that other people hadn't thought of, and other people might say something in a way I hadn't thought of it. But what I noticed was a lot of people weren't necessarily as open as I was about my bladder exstrophy. And, you know, I found that with quite a few people, they keep it secret. And, you know, it was their way of dealing with it. But I don't know if maybe it was nice for them to know that, you know, all my family and friends know about it. They don't treat me differently. Like, my friends see me as Kirsteen, and the only time they would ever think of me as being ill is if I was taken into hospital, which, thank goodness, rarely happens. And when I am ill, they're the most supportive people, ridiculously protective sometimes. And, you know, I think maybe for people who keep it secret, it's quite nice for them, I think, to think, you know, maybe if they did tell their friends, they wouldn't be freaked out. Because, you know, it can be quite a scary thing to just announce, because you know, it can sound quite gruesome. And like I said earlier, you know, when I said, you know, what bladder exstrophy is, if you say that to somebody, you can sometimes see the shock in their face. Because obviously they're thinking, is it still out there? So you have to settle them down and be like,
we worked that out.
There, don't worry. My stomach looks normal now. Yeah. It's just got a few scars, but it's fine. But even, you know, I used to be quite self-conscious about wearing a bikini and stuff to the beach. And I'm saying that like you get a lot of opportunity in Scotland and you don't. But, you know, on the rare occasion that you get to wear a bikini on the beach and stuff, I used to be quite self-conscious about it because I do have scars. And all of my friends, bless them, all used to get really angry at me because they were like, who cares? You know, and I think from being so open and from my friends being like that, I've managed to adopt this attitude that, you know, this is what I have and this is what my stomach looks like. And if you can't accept that, then I'm not necessarily sure that I need you in my life anyway, because it doesn't make me different. The only way you'll know I'm different is if you see my stomach. And, you know, if somebody can't accept you for who you are, I think it says more about them than it does about you, because an illness or, you know, a bad time in your life, that's not who you are as a person. That's something that you've gone through and that you've beaten. And if anything, it shows that, you know, you're a strong-willed person not to be messed with, because you don't take any rubbish. So, you know, you can come through the worst situations and be a stronger person. And that's kind of how I've always viewed it, which I know I'm fortunate that I've been raised to feel like that.
That is kick-ass Kirsteen Lupton. I gotta tell you, folks, she is pretty amazing. I really love the fact that she was able to come on the show with us here on the Courage to Shine series, thanks to Thomas. I mean, Kirsteen, you're always welcome to come on the show anytime. You know, I certainly would love to be able to work with you again in the near future.
Definitely. I would love to be able to work with you too. Thank you so much for asking me along.
Awesome. Hey, tell us where it is that people can find you. Are you on social networking or anything? Social media?
Yes. So I'm on social media as Kirsteen SG. So Kirsteen Sierra Golf, because obviously for work reasons, I don't like to have my second name in Facebook, but you can find me on that, or I could probably, I'm not sure how you do this, but I could probably give you a link to my Facebook or something like that.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I can pop you over a link to my Facebook and you can pop it up, and anybody with any questions, I'm so open about my condition that I don't get offended by anything that anyone asks. And my friends sometimes try and see if they can offend me, and nothing. So any questions that anybody wants to ask, just drop me a message, send me an email or something, and I won't get hurt by anything that's said, because at the end of the day, you know, there's some questions that people want answered, and, you know, maybe I have the answers to them. Nothing at all. You can contact
people who don't necessarily deal with bladder exstrophy, right? It could be anybody for whatever.
Yeah, anybody for whatever type of condition or any type of kind of rubbish time that they're going through, because it's not just about going through something that you're not necessarily sure that you can beat, and, you know, just having somebody else, even if it's, you know, mine might be medical and somebody else's problem could be social, but, you know, at one stage I wasn't sure I could beat bladder exstrophy, but I did. So, you know, if somebody's going through a time that they don't think that they can get through, even just to message me and kind of say, you know, how you use what you had around you to manage to get through that, and be happy to talk to them and be a listening ear, because it's not all medical stuff. You know, there's a lot of stuff involved.
There's a lot of stuff involved. There definitely is. There's a lot of stuff involved, but that doesn't mean, like Kirsteen said before, it does not mean that you're defined by what it is that ails you. You can just make sure to know that you are more than the challenges that you face. And this young lady right here is personifying Arisen strength. Kirsteen, it's been wonderful to have you, and look forward to working with you again.
Thank you so much. It's been lovely being on.
Excellent. Don't forget that next week we are going to have a live show, What a Difference a Year Makes. # lose 300 pounds. It's going to be a lot of fun. See you then. You can learn more about the Arisen Strength Motivational Podcast at our website at arisenstrength.com. And remember, your time is now.
The sweetest moment of life I ever knew was when I opened my eyes and saw that you were my truth. Said, how did you know? How did you know? That you'd be my angel. When your wings were trapped into my heart. Where did you see? And where did you see? That we would be wonderful. And our dreams will live where we are. Trapped into my heart. Where did you see that we would be wonderful, and our dreams would live where we are? How did you know that you'd be my angel when your wings were trapped into my heart? Where did you see that we would be wonderful, and and our dreams would live where we are. How did you know that you'd be my angel when your wings were trapped in my heart? Where did you see that we would be wonderful and our dreams would live where we are? How did you know that you'd be my angel when your wings were trapped in my heart? Where did you see that we would be wonderful and our dreams would live where we are? How did you know that you'd be my angel when your wings were trapped in my